10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Really? Really? And then what? Uh-huh. And after that? Really? Oh my goodness. Uh-huh. Oh no. This is about Amy today. It's about book launches and Amy and moving on. Nothing to see here, right, Mickey? Right? Right. There you go. Right from the dog's mouth.
Hi everybody. As you can see, I'm Amy Christine Parker. I'm Tuesday, and as Lucian said, it's all about me this week, I guess, and my book launch. As you can see, I'm in sweats, and I'm in my parents' house. I'm traveling. I'm up in Pennsylvania, and I'm going to try to do this in one take because I basically have an iPhone and an empty bedroom, and just maybe about 4 or 5 minutes before I have some serious interruptions from people in my family. Anyway, I'm going to really quickly tell you about my book launch up here. I had one down in Tampa. That one went really well, very smooth. This one up here, not so much. I love the bookstore. They did an awesome job. But unfortunately, there were a couple of misunderstandings, and so it didn't go quite as smoothly this time around. Basically, when we went to the book launch, I got there early, we set everything up, we had cake, we had sodas and drinks and all that stuff. The bookstore was great. They set up a whole area for us, and a bunch of chairs, and a table with all kinds of books. And the time came around, 2 p.m., and there were 5 people there, and then myself and my parents and my brother and his family, and that was it. All the family, all the people that we knew that we invited were nowhere to be found. And then it was 10 after 2 and they still weren't there. And then it was quarter after 2 and they still weren't there. And what I didn't realize is that when we told them that the book signing was going to be from 2 to 4, they figured that it was some sort of open house, that I would sit at a table for 2 hours and the people could just come and go and get their book signed. They didn't realize that there would be a talk, because all of my friends and family, for the most part, are not huge readers. They're not people that would normally go to a book signing. And so for them, this was a first. And I never thought about telling them how a book signing worked and what they should expect when they came. I just figured they would come at 2 and stay till 4. And they were thinking they would just come sometime between that window. So people didn't start showing up till about 20 after 2. And so by then I was pretty panicked. I mean, like really panicked, like on the floor in the fetal position, just about panicked. I didn't actually do that, but I felt like it. And so what happened is we waited till about 2:25 before we actually started the signing. Once it started, it went okay, except that everyone that I knew sat in the last 3 rows. So at the signing, there were maybe 10 rows of chairs, and the first 2 to 3 rows had maybe 1 or 2 people each row, like a mom and a daughter, and then maybe another lady by herself. And then I had like 30 people in the last several rows all grinning at me really crazy, but far away. So I was trying to talk to them, and they were like way far. So I'm trying to yell. And at the same time, I have all these empty chairs in between. It was crazy. And I don't know why they did it. I'm still not sure. But I guess maybe they were trying to wait in case anybody else came along that there would be plenty of seats. Anyway, from that point on, the launch went pretty well. I did a talk. I told everybody about the book and all the research that I did and how I sort of became a writer. And then after a while, I did a reading, and I read maybe 4 pages from my first chapter. And then finally we did the signing, where I actually sat at the front of the room. And that was the easiest part because everybody just came to me and I signed the books. The worst part is that you're so nervous at a book launch that really you start forgetting people's names. So if I had to suggest one thing, it would be to get Post-its and have everybody write their name on a piece of paper so you don't have to be really crazy and ask someone you've known for like 10 years what their name is. I tried to play it off and ask them how to spell it, but really seriously, I was so nervous I forgot people's names entirely. And it's really bad when they're family friends. Other than that, there were a couple of men that came up and asked me lots of questions about the book. I spent a lot of time talking to them, only to realize later that basically they came to every book launch mainly for the cake. So I was talking to them all about my book, doing the hard sell, and they were there basically to get a piece of chocolate cake. And they did, about 4 pieces. So I learned that, you can't always figure out what you need to do to make things run perfectly. Sometimes they're not, so you just have to breathe and go with it. And really, that's it. Have a great week. See you next week.